Hey everybody, Drew here from Fourwall. We are at Chauvet Professional in Burbank. We're going to be talking about the MagicQ MQ500 console. We do have them available at Fourwall to rent, so we just wanted to talk to Thomas and Chip and ask them a few questions about the console. So Chip, tell me a little bit about this console, run maybe some features.
Okay. MQ500 is our flagship console. It's a 200 universe desk. You can get 200 universes of streaming ACM, Pathport, or ArtNet out the back of the desk with no proprietary processing. Any ArtNet, Pathport, or ACM node will do. Desk comes with two HD touchscreens, which do support multi-touch. You get 15 playbacks, 15 executor buttons, and 12 multifunction buttons on the desk. 4 direct DMX outs, MIDI, and timecode LTC in and out.
And where do you see these consoles being used? Like, where would you like to see them utilized, or what kind of lighting professional would be interested in having this desk at their venue?
The desk is really a jack of all trades. It can do theater, it can do concerts. It's very, very good for live and busking shows. So nightclubs, large festival events, things where you don't necessarily have a lot of time to program a complex show. But it can do everything from that to a simple Q2Q theater show.
Okay. So how easy is it for somebody to adapt to this console? Is it easy to make a pretty smooth transition?
It can be. We use a very familiar layout that anybody who's worked on older or current lighting desks can find their way around. Grid of buttons, palettes in the same way you'd expect on a modern lighting desk. We have a series of buttons with similar naming, things like the output window, your patch screen, your group position, beam color windows. It's a fairly simple layout if you've used any modern lighting desk in the last 10 years.
Is there any sort of mode or anything that can be changed in the console?
So we kind of get this question a lot because it's transitioning from console to console is something that as a lighting programmer you sort of tend to do a lot of times. So the ChamSys console in particular, right away when you start a new show, it will ask you right away what type of programmer are you? Because the console can be readjusted and the syntax of the console can actually be readjusted to follow the programmer rather than having the programmer having to adapt to the desk itself. So right away it will ask you if you are more of a theater style programmer. And then the syntax will then change so that you can recall dimmers right from the keypad. If you're more of a let's say an older hog console person, if you trained on a hog and you wanted to come that, we have a feature that a mode that's called hog warp, and then simple things like having to hold down your fan button to then do your fan positions instead of just tapping it on and off, bringing up your playback and nothing actually happening until you hit play. Those sorts of things are triggered by depending on the mode that you're in the console.
And can you load in a show file from a different console, or is there any workaround to do that?
You can't load a show direct from another manufacturer's console, but what we do have is we have WYSIWYG, Vectorworks, and Capture patch transports. So we can connect directly to WYSIWYG or Capture, pull the patch out of your drawing you've already done directly into the desk, and then we can take the instrument data out of Vectorworks and with a little bit of modification can bring that with fixture positions and patch information into the console.
What are some features of this console that set you apart from the other lighting consoles that we have in our inventory?
We bring a very powerful effects generator, we bring a very powerful pixel mapper, and we focus on helping the programmer get his show going faster or as fast as possible. So a lot of the syntax, a lot of the keystrokes, and a lot of the actions you're going to do within the desk are shortened as much as possible and are as quick as possible for the programmer to get your show up and running and have it look good without a lot of wasted time or a lot of wasted action.
And can you tell us a little bit more about the Visualiser and how somebody can utilize that?
Absolutely. So in this desk in particular, the MQ500, like I said, we do have a 3D visualizer built into the console itself. And we can get into more a little bit in depth of that. For instance, Chip actually has a show that he's done on Vectorworks and has been able to then just import it and then use the 3D Visualizer as his visualizer for his Vectorworks show. Again, the 3D Visualizer, it's very powerful in that sense, and as well as being just inside the console. If you're in a festival situation during the day, you're able to still see your show and check your cues and everything else, although you're not able to see it live because of sunlight or other things like that, other barriers. So you're really able to work on it right on the desk instead of having to plug outside computers for that.
Another big advantage to Visualiser is when you download our software, it's an offline editor and it will actually output DMX, but you also get the Visualiser for free. We don't charge you extra for that. It'll interface with the desk. You can do offline programming, pre-visualization with it if you need to, and then bring it over to the desk. And what you get out of that is you get not only the Visualiser on the 500 on the desk, you also get a plot view out of it, which is essentially a plan view and an elevation view of your rig with unit numbers, head numbers, and you can select and do a handful of other functions directly from that plot view. So once you get on site, even if you're not using the Visualiser, you still have the advantage of your virtual rig is there and accessible, and you can see it and select and choose pictures from that.
For somebody who wants a little bit more playback, we do have the Stadium Wing available in rentals. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Stadium Wing is essentially a third touchscreen, 4 more encoders, 15 more playbacks, and 15 more buttons, as well as 4 more DMX outputs. It accompanies the desk. It's the same footprint, same chassis. It'll sit right next to it and look like it belongs there, and it gives you basically doubles the amount of playbacks you have on your desk.
If somebody wanted the power that the MQ500 produces, but doesn't have the space or the budget, we do have the MQ80 available. Can you tell us a little bit about the MQ80 console?
Yeah, the MQ80 is the same software under the hood, runs the same, programs the same, works the same. Much smaller form factor. Great for smaller shows, small corporate events, people who have to travel, who have to carry a desk with them. It comes with 10 playbacks, which can be multiple pages or multiple playbacks with executor buttons. 1 touchscreen. Still get the 8 encoders, 4 direct out. Still has the 4-port network switch built into the back. MIDI, LTC, all the ports that you would want on a professional desk. It is limited to 24 universes, but still has the full support over those 24 universes for streaming ACN, ARNet, and Pathport, just like the 500. The only thing that it won't do, that the 500 does do, is run the Visualiser native on the desk. It'll still give you the plot view, it'll still give you the full pixel mapping and the output view, but the Viz would have to run on an external computer.
All right, so there you have it. This is the ChamSys MQ500. I want to thank Thomas and Chip for answering some of our questions. If anybody has any other questions, where can they find more information?
You can always look us up on our website, www.chamsysusa.com. There's links there to support and for training. We do trainings nationally about every other week. We're somewhere training, somewhere in the country. We do 2-day training courses. As far as questions or general questions or support questions, there's a support tab there. You can reach out to us via email or phone. We're happy to answer any questions you have.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Chip. And again, the MQ500 available at 4Wall. So check out 4Wall.com as well. Thank you.